anything I don't want to look at, I just shove it in there. I strategically place my toe. I actually decided I'm going to apply a coat of paint. I need to install some curtain rods. I went to Hobby Lobby and got these hanging baskets. Hello, and welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Molly, and we chat all things DIY, home, garden, and life in between in New England. And today, we are standing in my office. Yes, the office we spent 6 months building and then you never heard a peep about after. I needed a break. I'm gonna be honest with you. I spent way too much time in this room. I spent way too much time thinking about it, looking at it, problem solving, painting. I needed a break. I needed a flippin' break. So that's what I did. I took a break. I've been sitting in here working, which has been really nice, and I love the space, but I've been neglecting it when it comes to organizing and like decorating. And that's the fun part. Like, I love organizing and decorating, so really I should be jumping at the opportunity to get started on that. But I just wasn't feeling it. But now I am, and we are going to flip around and start with the big scary closet. Now, this space is, you know, like a craft slash just stuff closet. Like, anything I don't want to look at, I just shove it in there. I think I'll take care of that later, and it's just been building up. And definitely during the renovation in this room, it was just a dumping zone. So it is time to clear everything out, go through everything one by one, decide what I really need to keep, which is going to be hard, sort through things, make donate, sell, keep piles, and then figure out what I want to store in the closet and what I want to store in the built-in cabinets that we made, because now we have extra storage space, so we can kind of spread things out and make this closet a little more accessible. So today I am starting the task of emptying this space out and going through things. It will probably take me a few days, if I'm being honest, but we have to start somewhere. So I'm going to show you what we're working with, share a few of my thoughts, and then we'll dive in. Okay, brace yourself. It's an organized mess. I'm not gonna lie. It's not that terrifying. There's just stuff everywhere. Like, I can't even walk in here. What I need to do is I strategically place my toe in an open area just to reach the things back here. So this closet, yeah, needs some love. And the first thing that needs to happen is I need to take everything out. All the stuff on the floor, all the stuff on the shelves, all the stuff on the rack back here, and go through it, because there's plenty of things in here that I don't actually use or need anymore and could definitely be donated. There are also things in here that can be moved into my cabinets. And then what I'm gonna try to do is keep this whole walkway open and only use these shelves here to store things. Maybe keep that rack in the back. And that way I can actually like walk in here, see where everything is, and easily get to it if I need it. The first thing I'm gonna start with is everything on the floor, because I need to be able to get in there. So I'm just gonna move it out into the office and start sorting through. It's already looking so much better. The fact that I can just like walk in here, ooh, as I run into the wall and get back to this shelf is amazing. It is quite narrow. I mean, like, this is as wide as it gets. It's not a whole ton of space, but it's still something I can squeeze myself into, and having the floor clear is a huge help. So we're gonna try to maintain that. Obviously still have to go through all of this stuff and all the paper and stock in the back shelf, but we've made good progress for today. pretty cleaned out closet. Totally empty, nothing left in there, fresh clean slate. But we do now have a giant mess in the office and out in the dining room. So I've got my work cut out for me in terms of sorting and organizing. But before I go through and start putting things back in the closet, I actually decided I'm going to apply a coat of paint to both the shelves and the walls. If I'm going to do it, now is the best time because it's empty. And I actually have some leftover paint from when we painted the office. So I've got this like creamy white for the walls and then this sage green, which is a satin finish and I think would work well on the shelves. Might as well add a pop of color in there, right? Not only do I already have the paint, but you know, it'll just be cohesive with the office color scheme. I do have some baskets and things that I'll reuse, like these here, and they work really well. I also have these like Tupperware drawers that I use to organize like tape and pens and pencils and random craft supplies, but I could probably do with some more organizer-y type things. Some things like my stock and my envelopes, I just use like a cardboard box lid and it's worked for, you know, now, but it's kind of starting to fall apart and I think we can contain those things better. So I'm going to hit up the thrift store tomorrow, see if we can find anything that we can add to our collection that will be both functional and pretty. And you know, now that we have the new cabinets over here, we have more shelves to fill, so that just means I need some more containers. Today we are painting. I got out all of the leftover paint from the office. I've got two different colors. The walls are Fairwind Ball Pointing, which is a creamy white, and the cabinets and the doors and all of the trim is Stone White, also by Fairwind Ball, so it's that beautiful sagey green color. So in the closet here, I'm going to paint the shelves and the baseboard down here the Stone White, just so it matches everything we did in here. And then I'll do the ceiling and all of the walls the same creamy white. Hopefully I have enough paint. I've got like a half a can, maybe a little more of the white, so I don't know if I'll have enough for 2 coats, but hopefully at least for 1 coat. And because this is already white and it's dark in here, we might be able to get away with that. We'll see. But I have plenty of the Stone White, so if we need to do 2 coats of that, which we likely will over top of the white, we should have enough to do that. I have all the painting supplies out again. It feels too close to all the painting we did in the office, but we gotta get it done and I'll feel so much better once we can check this off and start putting things back, because that's the fun part. We now have a beautifully painted closet. It feels so much more unified with the office space now. When I open the door, it's like not this scary, dingy closet, which is nice. Aside from this horrifying light fixture, which eventually I will change. For now I'm leaving it. Obviously we're missing a bulb or it's dead and it just looks like a hospital light fixture, but for now we're leaving it. I'm not gonna let that be a blocker. I had just enough paint for the walls, like to the drop, and I ended up putting 2 coats of paint on all of the trim work and the shelf just because it was going over white paint and you could see through it a little bit, so the second coat really made it nice and opaque, which is great. I'm currently in our guest bedroom slash my beauty parlor because I need to grab a few things that I want to bring downstairs and find a home for in the office. The 2 closets in the guest room are kind of our overflow storage, so I've put things that I didn't have space for previously in the office up here, including my sewing machine and my Cricut machine, and I want to bring those downstairs so that I can find a place for them, and we have a sewing project that we need to work on. Okay, so now that we've kind of got these two shelves sorted out, what's it gonna look like when we close the doors, right? Like, you can see through these, they're glass, it kind of looks messy, but I have a plan. We are going to sew some curtains. Before we actually sew the curtains, I need to install some curtain rods on the inside of the door. Done. It is amazing how different these look now that you're not looking through the glass, and we can hide away any mess we have in the cabinets now that they're covered by the curtains. So that's very exciting, and I'm really proud of that. It was a very low effort project, low cost, with the exception of not being able to find the fabric that I loved. So I will continue to look for fabrics that might work in this space and just kind of, you know, over time, sew additional curtains that we can swap out seasonally. But I think these are a great neutral. They work for really any season right now, and I can at least check that off my list so that I can start stuffing stuff in there and not have to look at the mess behind it. Now I am back to organizing all of my stuff. I ended up going to Target and picking up some various bins and storage containers. I thrifted some, but obviously we need quite a bit because our closet is pretty big and our cabinets are new storage space that we didn't have before. So I picked up some tubs, I got some acrylic bins that stack, I got these rotating acrylic trays, I have some larger tubs. Of course I have, you know, some baskets that I previously had that are now empty. I went to Hobby Lobby and got these hanging baskets so we can utilize some wall space. So we've got a lot of options. Now we just need to find, you know, the right items to fill it so we can really maximize the space. I probably have more bins than I actually need, but I just picked up a whole bunch of different sizes and styles so I can decide what I need as I go. Mostly I want to have more stackable things so I can really maximize the height in some of the shelves, and also things that are like fully contained. A lot of things are just like flopping out of their boxes or containers or just loosely stuffed on the shelf somewhere, and I want to contain everything. It's just, the mess was killing me and it's time to button that up. I was somehow able to consolidate all of the stuff to less containers. This is my whole pile of unused containers, which is great. And I was able to get rid of some things. I was able to like compact some things that just were in containers and not making the best use of space. And then I was also able to use some of the ones I thrifted, which was so fun because I think that just adds a little bit of color. I mean, the plastic tubs are just so necessary. They're just easy, they're stackable, they're, you know, uniform, which I like. But any opportunity I have to weave in some just like warmth and hominess between baskets and boxes, it will make me happy. So I was able to use that for a few of these. Some of these things I've packed to the brim, and I'm going to put them in the cabinets up here because they're kind of like hard to reach, and you know, that stuff I only need every so often. But the rest of the stuff I've tried to keep, you know, accessible. I'm not tucking it away with like a lid or anything. These are all my envelopes and stationery and, you know, paper samples and just craft paper, ribbon. I've got my paint swatch books, which I actually reach for quite often, so I wanted those to be accessible. And then I was also able to reduce some of these like Tupperware drawers. They've been really handy, but they're really clunky and they take up a lot of space. So even some of these I might be able to reduce more because I can put them in the drawer that we now have. So I'll try to put some like office supplies, like pens, pencils, scissors, that kind of thing in there. And that might allow us to reduce one more of these things. So let's see how much of this we can pack into the closet and cabinets. Cabinets to the brim, all the way down to the printers, and we have filled up all of our shelves with the plastic bins and a couple of baskets. I've got my sewing machine down here. I've tried to like keep this walkway open as much as possible. I reduced the amount of paper back here so I can actually get to the paper. I use the boxes that we thrifted, these little like card boxes for ribbon and like smaller cardstock. And then on the back side of the shelf here, I added nails so I could hang all of the rulers. And I didn't stack them because I figured it's just, since I have the room, it's nice to be able to just like have one on each hook and I don't have to like remove them all to get to the one on the bottom. So that's kind of fun. And then I added this hook from Hobby Lobby. I need to add some rub and buff to the screws so they blend in. And this basket, I have a small one and a large one. I put the large one up for now because I'm like, well, I might as well give myself the most amount of storage. But I'm gonna sit with it, and then if it feels too big, then I might swap it out with this smaller version. It actually does fit when you close the door, so as long as I'm not putting stuff that's too heavy in here, I think the larger one will be fine. So that's exciting. I have a few things left that just aren't going to fit, so I'm going to find a space for those in the upstairs closet. This is all the fabric that needs to go up in the fabric tub, and this is just a pile of stuff that I need to sort through and decide what I'm going to keep or get rid of. It's just like random stacks of paperwork. And then these are all the tubs and bins that are unused, some of which I will save. Like these are all the old Tupperware drawers. I'll save those for Matt's office or for out in the workshop. And then a few of these, like I love these so much. I really wish I could find a place for them, maybe in the bathroom, we'll see. But if I don't use those and those tubs in the bottom there, I'll just return those to Target and get some money back so I can keep on shopping for more stuff. But yeah, that's it so far. So the next step now, sorry you're blinded by the light, is to label everything. Now that everything has a home, it's in its final resting place, it is now time to add labels. I didn't do this initially because I wasn't sure if I'd have to swap containers, or if there were certain ones I wasn't going to use, or if I would be able to consolidate things and then I could get rid of a container. So I saved this for last because I wanted to make sure everything was exactly where it was going to go, and then I could, you know, put the label on it. I'm going to try to be as detailed as possible because I know that future me is going to forget what I put in some of those bins that are just like a mishmash of things. So in some cases I'll put a few labels on just to make sure I remember what's there. For the baskets that are in the cabinets up here, because I won't be able to stick a label on them, I will probably create like a little paper tag and stick a ribbon through it and just tie that around the front of the basket. So I'm going to put my headphones on, my new ones. You guys know if you watched the previous vlog. And I'm going to get lost in probably some music, have a little dance party, put some labels on, and get the job done. To go. I remembered that I still actually need to label some of these like paper dividers I added. So like in my greeting cards bin, I have it separated by like blank cards, thank you cards, seasonal, etc. So I want to add like a label on these little dividers like I did for the envelopes and all of these. I added those to these 3 cardstock bins because back when I used to do stationery, I would order envelopes and cardstock from different places, and this just helped me organize and remember which one was which color and where I actually purchased it from. So like C&P is Cards and Pockets, got Fabulous Fancy Pants, which is a handmade paper place, Fringe and Rose, which is also handmade paper. So that way when I was like reorganizing things, I wouldn't forget, you know, certain colors were from certain stores. So I probably will not refill these once I use them up. I'm gonna try to be better about like writing notes and sending cards and things like that. But for now, if there are any of these that I love, I can reorder them because I have the divider. Is a wrap. Everything's organized, beautiful bins, lovely labels, the floor is clear, I can get all the way to the back of the closet without tripping over things, and our brand new cabinets are filled to the brim with bins, labeled, and hidden behind these beautiful curtains we sewed together. So I'd call that a win. Check that off the list. There's still plenty to do in this space. Plenty to do. Lots of decorating. I desperately need a rug. Like, I need a rug. Otherwise, these floors are going to get totally wrecked. But that's a project for another day, one step at a time. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Click the bell notification if you want to be notified for future uploads. And share it with a friend if you think it's something they would like. I'm grateful you're here, and I will catch up with you in the next video.